John Kaminski. And go ahead now, John. I'm sorry. I just wanted to get this recorded back up. And we got a caller from the 805 area code. Hello, caller. You, who we got here?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can now.
I just have 2 points. One is, do you guys believe that, of all the Jewish folks in the world, that there's a group of them that are doing the dark stuff, but not every Jewish person is involved in the dark stuff? Hey, Clayton.
Yes, sir.
Clayton, I forgot to mention to you that the first caller I always get on all my shows is from a Jew.
Of course. Are you Jewish, sir?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Just wondering, do you guys... It's my understanding that there are some Jews that spit on the flag of Israel because they see it as an abomination.
Some of the... I published a picture of 10,000 Jews, Orthodox Jews, marching in New York City, protesting the Zionist state of Israel. I know Aaron Russo. I knew Aaron Russo. I've interviewed Dr. Henry McCow. And I know people that were just accidentally found out they were Jewish, and they are good people. And as far as I'm concerned, the Constitution really takes care of this matter. If you're a Muslim and you want to get on your knees out there, stick your nose in the dust and your ass up in the air, I'll try to keep the Doberman off of you. But don't expect me to get down there beside you. I feel the same way about Christians and Jews.
Wait, may I respond to this?
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
The first argument that, first of all, I believe that it's a moral crime against humanity to defend Judaism, because Jews believe, or the Talmud instructs them to believe, that they are the chosen people and everybody else is a subhuman beast. And I would think any Jew talking to any non-Jew should apologize for that immediately. The first argument that Jews, philo-Jews, crypto-Jews, or defenders of the Jews who are committing a moral crime against humanity always use is to say it's not all Jews. We're not talking about all Jews. There are some wonderful Jewish people. We're talking about the Judaic philosophy, which is responsible for most of the misery in the world. So don't give me it's not all Jews. We're talking about the Jewish right to lie. We're talking about the Jewish right to steal all the money of the American people. And we're talking about the Jewish tendency toward self-destruction and depravity. They've savaged our society. They've poisoned our people. And they've taken all our money. And if you want to defend that or claim that we shouldn't blame them for that, then you are my enemy, sir. Okay, well, let me respond to that. I just want to make it clear. I just want to understand if you thought that all Jews were evil. Jewish philosophy is evil. Okay,
I didn't hear that. If you want to hold on till we get back off the commercials, I'll try to listen to that again. We'll be right back.
Thank you for listening. When looking at your personal preparedness level, remember the freeze-dry guide. During times of physical and emotional stress, like the uncertain times we live in today, it is vital that you not alter your diet too much. You should only store what you usually eat, because one day you may have to eat only what you have stored. Lucky for you, there's the freeze-dry guide. Featuring the superior nutrition and taste you've come to expect, the freeze-dry guide has a wide variety of choices in freeze-dried foods. All freeze-dried foods are no-cook products requiring only hot water and a few minutes of your time. The freeze-dry guide has been serving various government agencies as well as the private sector with the finest in freeze-dried storable foods and emergency rations since 1970. Consider the technological advances made in computers from the punch card days of the 60s and 70s to the high-speed personal computers of today. Comparably, the advances made in food storage from the World War II era till now are equally great. Visit the website at www.freezedryguy.com or call toll-free 866-404-3663.
This is an emergency alert. People don't die of H1N1 infection. They die from system-wide intoxication and toxic shock. Doctors call it the cytokine storm following infection and immune hyperstimulation. Vaccines with immune stimulants or toxic drugs chemicalize your body, adding to your death risk. Prevent death and reverse diseases from infections, vaccinations, and drug toxicity. Call this number to get my free special report about the flu and what to do to save lives, maybe even your own. I'm Dr. Leonard Horowitz. Order Zeolife, the world's most powerful broad-spectrum detoxifier, immune system guard, and vaccine cleanse. Avoid vaccinations and drugs. Use Zeolife and oxysilver hydrosol instead to detox and de-germ your body. Stop the shock of toxicity and preventable deaths. Call 1-888-KO-GERMS. That's 1-888-KO-GERMS. Or visit zeolife.net and oxysilver.net and order your free report and package special.
LPN, America's Most Wanted. Can you handle the truth? That's LPN, your number one choice in political talk radio. But now it's all been changed, and when we gaze upon the glory, it's hard to fight that feelings of shame. We're fed up with lying politicians and greedy corporations who have sold us out time and again.
All right, we still got you on here, caller from 805 area code.
Yeah, can you guys hear me still?
Yeah, I can. Is this John DeHerrer?
D. Herrera, yeah.
Okay. All right. I got two Johns on here. DeHerrer, go ahead with you were going to respond to John. I think John made it pretty clear. These people are our enemies. No, there's probably some good ones. There's probably some good ones in there. And I'm sure there's good people in Muslims, there's good people in Christians, and you've got a whole philosophy here, a religion that is a lot further away from Christianity than even the Muslim religion. The Muslims and the Christians got along pretty well before the Jews came in. But go ahead, make your point here, and I'll let you go, John.
Okay, well, I understand that, I haven't studied it in depth, but, cursory understanding is that, yes, there are certain aspects of the Talmud and Jewish philosophy that are negative. Let's put it that way. But I've always been focused on how humanity can get out from underneath any negative aspects that currently have it enslaved. And so I'm just wondering if you guys have ever considered the Convention Clause of Article 5 of the United States Constitution. And as you may or may not know, the newspapers over the years have frightened Americans away from the idea of holding a federal convention. In fact, you go to the New York Times and the Washington Post of the 1960s and 1970s and 1980s, anytime there was talk in the mainstream media of a quote-unquote constitutional convention, the media folks always said, oh my gosh, no, we don't want to do that. They'll destroy the Constitution, they'll take it away, it'll just be a big mess. But recent research over the years has shown that the Convention Clause is simply a deliberative assembly on the authority of the Constitution, and whatever's proposed there, it would still need to go to 38 states to be ratified. But if you're against, Jewish folks or whatever, however you want to articulate the problem, the folks that are in power, the one thing they do not want to have happen is the entire nation coming together on the authority of its Constitution. That will blow everything out of the water. It will stop the narrative of politics as usual dead in its tracks, and everything will be thrown out in the sunlight. Have you guys ever considered advocating for an Article 5 convention?
That's a very good question, John. My understanding of the problem with the Constitution itself, having recently reviewed Thomas DiLorenzo's book, Hamilton, is that the Constitution was inferior to the Articles of Confederation over a single passage which Patrick Henry tried to point out. And it was the were people rather than states, which deprived the states of their authority and gave international money a chance to influence the whole federal body as one population. And by the change of wording from the Articles of Confederation to the Constitution, which was from states, the approval of the states, to the approval of the people, it became a federal nation and began a trend toward consolidation and centralization that has turned into this totalitarian communist monolith that we now have. So I think, and if I recall correctly, because I was in the newspaper business back then on a daily newspaper, and I was privy to some of that stuff, that the Jewish media, of course we didn't call it Jewish media then, but we know it's Jewish media now, the media tended to play up the threats. We would lose what we already had because they didn't want to open up any kind of debate on this matter. So that was kind of discouraged in a liberal, politically correct way, and like so many other things, just went down the memory hole. But it's my understanding, thanks to the work of Bruce Campbell and Thomas DiLorenzo and other writers who know a lot more about this subject than I do, that the Articles of Confederation giving the states a lot more authority guaranteed or helps prevent the central government from becoming this police state where the army that they have created to supposedly defend the country is now essentially being turned on its own people and bleeding them dry through taxes and all this other stuff.
Well, John, if I may, I just want to let you know that I've been advocating for the Article 5 Convention for 10 years now, and it's just within this last year, are there blog posts going up across the internet of people saying, hey, maybe we should hold the convention. Because things have gotten so bad now, your average American, folks, who are not like us on, a show like this, who've been digging for the truth for a long time, but just your average mainstream American is now concerned to the point that they are actually considering whether we should have a convention or not. Now, in terms of political science, and in terms of history, every reformation, every revolution the world over since history began has always come down to one thing, and that is a tipping point. If you get a tipping point majority of people join together in a common cause, that's when things change. Well, going back to your comments about, the difference between Articles of Confederation and the difference in the United States Constitution, it doesn't matter what those are. It only matters what we, the living, say it means. And if we get enough Americans to say the Constitution means we're going to hold an Article 5 convention, we'll get it. And the proof that we'll get it is that if the folks in power, the powers that be, however you want to articulate them, if they could come outright to the American people and say, hey, take your Constitution and shove it, they would have already have done it. They would have already utterly enslaved everyone outright. But they can't do that because you have 300 plus million Americans who believe they're sovereign, who believe they're free. So they can't come outright and tell them they're enslaved.
Yeah, they have
power now.
They have refined the art of slavery. Okay, that's enough. That's enough, John. Thank you, John D. Herrera. Thank you.
Then you need.
Thank you for giving me all of your information and input. Thank you. Now, cut him off.
Oh, that wasn't necessary. I would like to know more about that.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I don't like it when somebody moves in on my guest and tries to take over the whole conversation. I don't care to have and I'm not going to advocate a constitutional convention because I think that's a way. I think they're trying to attack the Constitution, aren't they, John?
Well, no, I'd like to know more about it. There seem to be some improvements that could be made. Principal among them is how the bank, I guess it's the Fourth Amendment. I'm not as up on my amendments as I should be, but I think it's the Fourth Amendment that's the right to coin money is reserved exclusively to the Congress. And the Congress has been so corrupt for so long that more than 100 years ago they gave that away for all the bribes that they got to do it to the European bankers, and we've been under their control ever since.
The Federal Reserve has just transferred trillions of dollars over to European banks.
That's an annual event, Clayton.
And to Israel. I mean, why are we supporting the world here? What is that? Unless of course we are the New World Order. We're the head of we're the empire the sun never shines on now. And it's
we're in a comatose fog engendered by Jewish media, by the people who control the money. And we have been fed a bill of goods for so long we don't know which way is up. We think that money is the almighty God, and we think that every perversion known to man is normal behavior, and don't realize that we've been fed this by crazy Jewish people who control our lives.
how do we fight this meeting? You know, after I saw what happened at Waco, I was not only outraged at the FBI, I was outraged at the Texas Rangers, DPS. The Sheriff's Department didn't do anything to help the Branch Davidians. But I was more upset with the press because all they did is take the government handouts. Oh, yeah, we had to kill our 17 little children because to save them from that child molester.
It's been that way since 1873 when John Swinton made that famous statement that's been so widely quoted on the internet, that what journalists do, they don't describe what's really going on in the world. They describe what their bosses tell them to write. I know that firsthand. I spent more than 2 decades at various newspapers, and I ran into the same problem in every place. Just as the same problem I run into on the internet, only I've become more and more specific about what I'm talking about. But there's this hidden level to society where, I was in a lot of small towns, and I could see how the Board of Selectmen usually had their favorite contractors, and there were all these arrangements that are really normal to human society in any country. But when you accidentally tripped over something ugly that had happened and that the most prominent people in that particular society were involved in, and you attempted to speak about it, I mean, this is like the human condition since time immemorial, where if the movers and shakers do something and it has an ugly aspect to it, like a couple of murders or something, and you try to talk about it, well, then you're going to be rubbed out too. It's kind of like the mafia formula of things. The world is run really on kind of a mafia system, where if you're in with the family and do what they say, everything's going to be fine. But if you point out some things that they're doing that aren't really too cool, then you're going to suffer. And really, that's kind of the category that you and I are both in, Clayton, and probably that caller too. For advocating an unpopular position, you earn the enmity of all of those people who want to remain asleep and watching television. And it's almost like I'm thinking of some kind of horror movie here where the whole town turns out to burn you at the stake. I think it was an Ibsen play, really, but where the whole town turns out to burn you at the stake because you said something was perfectly true and beneficial to humanity, but it ruined somebody's profit-making ability, which affected the whole town, and the whole town killed you as a result. There's a lot of that going on. There always has been.
By the way, our caller has asked me to give you this website, FOAVC. FOAVC.org. And that's John D. O'Hara. He was the caller that we had on.
Oh, good plug.
And I also sent him your email, pseudoskylax@gmail.com, folks, if you want to send John a donation or an email. You can do that at pseudoskylax@gmail.com. And you also have johnkaminski.com, don't you?
No, it's johnkaminski.info.
.info, okay. Sure.
Thank you.
All right. And folks, you know, we are doing this. Let me change that real quick. I had it .com, but I fixed it. We're fighting a battle here, and we're fighting it alone. You know, John, that it almost bothers me. Oops, hang on, we'll be right back. Commercial.
It's coming down. It's coming down. World orders, training armies on our ground. With soldiers dressed in black and blue to aim the crosshairs of their guns at the end. I know a man who lives way up in Idaho. Can you handle the truth? You know the Constitution like the back of your...
Listened to podcasts, attended lectures, surfed websites, and watched videos. You've made liberty your life's goal, but something seems to be missing. Stickers from libertystickers.com. Exercise your freedom of speech with the world's most dangerous bumper stickers. That's libertystickers.com.
At www.libertybroadcastingnetwork.com.
Being a part of Life Change Tea has been an exhilarating experience. I love the testimonies. Julie in New York writes, I love this product. I feel great. It worked immediately. You can feel the cleansing right away. Other products don't work right away like this one does. Mrs. Luella from Missouri writes, my daughter has lost 27 pounds. She loves the tea. And David from Tennessee writes, my wife has a lot of digestive problems and the tea really helps her a lot. I like it too. And here's my favorite from CJ in Minnesota. He writes, this stuff really works. No, I mean it really works. No, I mean it really works. Be one of the many testimonies that we receive every month. Order today online at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Or you can call us at 928-308-0408. You know the number, 928-308-0408. Be our next testimony. You love us, and we love you.
You're listening to the Liberty Broadcasting Network.
This is an emergency alert. People don't die of H1N1 infection. They die from system-wide intoxication and toxic shock. Doctors call it the cytokine storm following infection and immune hyperstimulation. Vaccines with immune stimulants or toxic drugs chemicalize your body, adding to your death risk. Prevent death and reverse diseases from infections, vaccinations, and drug toxicity. Call this number to get my free special report about the flu and what to do to save lives, maybe even your own. I'm Dr. Leonard Horowitz. Order Zeolife, the world's most powerful broad-spectrum detoxifier, immune system guard, and vaccine cleanse. Avoid vaccinations and drugs. Use Zeolife and oxysilver hydrosol instead to detox and de-germ your body. Stop the shock of toxicity and preventable deaths. Call 1-888-KO-GERMS. That's 1-888-KO-GERMS. Or visit zeolife.net and oxysilver.net and order your free report and package special.
People listening
When looking at your personal preparedness level, remember the freeze-dry guide. During times of physical and emotional stress like the uncertain times we live in today, it is vital that you not alter your diet too much. You should only store what you usually eat, because one day you may have to eat only what you have stored. Lucky for you, there's the freeze-dry guide. Featuring the superior nutrition and taste you've come to expect, the freeze-dry guide has a wide variety of choices in freeze-dried foods. All freeze-dried foods are no-cook products requiring only hot water and a few minutes of your time. The freeze-dry guide has been serving various government agencies as well as the private sector with the finest in freeze-dried storable foods and emergency rations since 1970. Consider the technological advances made in computers from the punch card days of the 60s and 70s to the high-speed personal computers of today. The advances made from the World War II era till now are equally great. Visit the website www.guide.com or call toll-free 866-404-3663.
Views and opinions expressed on this network by the host and their guests do not necessarily reflect the views of Liberty Broadcasting Network, its sponsors, affiliates, or hosts.
All right, trying different equipment here, trying it with a headset and a microphone. Hopefully, and John, let me see if this mic's picking up you all right.
It sounds better to me, Clayton.
Okay, great. Hopefully this will work, and it'll pick up your voice on here. We're working on things, balancing different stations, and trying to expand our reach. The media, taking it back over to media is essential. And it's kind of what's been happening with the internet. I mean, you're putting out a lot of information now. We're not making a lot of money. We're not getting paid for what we're writing and the information that we're putting out or the shows. Nobody's paying me like they're paying Rush Limbaugh to keep you baffled. I'm trying to get you the truth.
Who's got the money? There's no money in the truth. I was thinking the other day that there's some kind of scale you can use, and it's like the more money you have, I wouldn't say the more evil you do, but the more you're involved in an evil system. And not that I'm advocating poverty, believe me, I'm not. But there's some price that you have to pay for a big salary, and the way most people pay it is they ignore the secondary ramifications of the jobs that they're doing. I know some very dedicated people to legitimate social causes who actually work for companies. I know a couple of lawyers like this who actually work for companies that are involved in the destruction of the world, and they are caught between the careers that they've chosen and the families that they're trying to raise and their own principles that they're violating by doing what they're doing. And I think, everyone in America, and maybe the world, has some kind of fraction of this, some kind of percentage of this, some kind of scale within them that enables them to look the other way. That's probably one of the things that bothers me most, because I do consider myself an American. But boy, when I look at what America has done to the world and how the American population has been willingly and happily deceived into believing that all of these adventures overseas have been noble undertakings, when in reality they have been really shameful power grabs. And, they say the world is run by force, and that's, in speaking about idealistic things, most people who are doing that, as I did the other night on a radio interview, we were just totally idealistic, but the world is run by force, and the constant battle is between conscience and force. And you'd think, in fact I know, that there is enough wealth